Everyone wants to make more money, but most people think they need to start from scratch to do it. They think they need a brand new business, a new skill, or a lucky break. But what if the money you're looking for is already sitting in your garage, your shed, or even your closet right now? What if your next source of income isn't something you have to build, it's something you already own? The truth is, most people are surrounded by untapped cash flow, things they've bought, stored, or forgotten about that could be working for them instead of collecting dust. This video isn't about selling your stuff on Facebook Marketplace, it's about turning what you already have into recurring income, real cash flow from real assets you already own. This is how you make money without starting over. This is how you turn your possessions into profit. Now, before we dive into ideas, let's set the mindset. The wealthy don't just buy things, they buy tools that make them money. Even their hobbies have ROI. They think in terms of cash flow, not consumption. You can do the same, even on a small scale. So let's walk through how to identify what you own, how to monetize it, and how to turn those items into reliable income streams. First, do a quick inventory of your life. Walk through your house, garage, storage unit, or even your truck. Write down anything that meets these 3 criteria. Number 1, it has value, but you rarely use it. Number 2, it solves a problem or saves someone time. Number 3, it can be loaned, rented, or shared safely. Those are your assets, and once you identify them, you can start turning them into cash flow. Let's explore a few creative examples that most people overlook. Start with equipment rentals. This is one of the easiest and most underrated ways to generate recurring income from things you already have. Maybe you own power tools, a pressure washer, chainsaw, air compressor, or lawnmower. These are expensive for other people to buy, but they only need them for a day or two. You could rent them locally through Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, or apps like Fat Llama and Loanables. Let's say you have a $400 pressure washer sitting in your garage. You rent it for $35 a day. 10 rentals later, it's paid for itself. After that, it's pure profit. And because you own the equipment, your costs are nearly zero. You're not starting a business. You're just letting your tools work for you. But it doesn't stop there. You can build systems around it. For example, you could bundle your tools, like a weekend project kit that includes a power washer, extension cord, and surface cleaner. Charge a flat rate, and suddenly you've created a mini rental business that runs off stuff you already own. If you live in an area where people do DIY home improvement, you could even partner with others. One person owns a trailer, another owns a generator, another owns ladders. Together, you create a small shared inventory. Everyone profits when something rents. It's community entrepreneurship, and it costs nothing to start. Now, let's move beyond tools. Think about recreational gear. Things like kayaks, paddleboards, mountain bikes, drones, tents, or even camera gear. People love experiences but hate spending big on equipment you'll only use once or twice a year. You can rent them out safely with security deposits or through insured platforms. Let's take drones as an example. A decent drone might cost $800, and if you're not using it regularly, that's just money sitting idle. But drone rentals can go for $50 to $150 a day depending on the model. Rent it out just twice a month, and it pays for itself in a few months. And it doesn't have to be physical gear. You can rent space. If you have a garage, shed, or parking spot you're not using, list it on peer-to-peer storage apps like Neighbor or Stowit. People will pay to store their items in your space. A single parking spot can bring in $50 to $150 per month, and all you're doing is letting someone use what you already have. If you have land, even better, land can earn income without you lifting a finger. You could rent it for RV parking, garden space, dog training, or even outdoor events. You can literally turn dirt into dollars. Now let's get creative. Maybe you own a truck or trailer. Most people think of that as a liability, gas, maintenance, insurance, but you can turn that into an asset by renting it for moving jobs, hauling, or deliveries. If you don't want to drive, list your vehicle on apps like Turo for personal cars or Fetch for trucks. Your vehicle can make $300 to $700 a month just by existing. Here's a powerful mindset shift. Everything you own is either a tool or a trap. Tools make you money, traps cost you money. Once you start looking at your possessions that way, you'll realize you're already sitting on potential income. Let's say you own camera gear. You might rent your camera body and lenses to local photographers. You could package them as a full event kit with a tripod, flash, and SD cards. Add insurance through the platform, and suddenly you're running a small equipment rental business without quitting your day job. And here's where it gets interesting. Once you start earning, you can reinvest. The goal isn't to stay small. The goal is to build multiple small cash flow machines that add up. Imagine you start with your power tools and earn $200 a month in rentals. After 3 months, you take that $600 and buy a new item, maybe a pressure washer attachment or another tool that expands your rental catalog. Each item you add compounds your income. That's how wealth quietly grows. Let's move into digital examples that still count as equipment. You might own software, subscriptions, or licenses that others could use. For instance, you could rent your 3D printer time to hobbyists or students. You could use your existing design software to offer a quick-turn design service, or sell templates that use the software you already pay for. Even your computer can generate cash. If you have a gaming PC or powerful workstation, you can rent computing power through services like Golem or Render Network, where people pay to use your machine's processing capability for animation or research. The point is, you already have assets. You just need to shift your thinking from consumer to creator. Every tool, every gadget, every bit of space you own is an opportunity to earn. Now, once you've identified what you can monetize, the next step is to systemize it. This is where people either succeed or give up. The key is to make your rentals or services repeatable and low effort. Start by setting clear policies. Decide how long people can rent something, what deposit you'll require, and what happens if it's damaged. Use simple rental agreements you can find online. Always take photos before and after rentals, and use digital payments, Cash App, Venmo, or Square, so everything is clean and trackable. Then, automate where possible. Set up calendar scheduling so renters can see availability without messaging you back and forth. Use reminders to follow up, request reviews, and keep things running smoothly. If you ever find yourself with more demand than you can handle, that's your sign to scale. You can buy duplicate items, bring on a friend, or even transition to a formal business. But remember, the point isn't to create more work, it's to create more freedom. Now, let's talk about scaling intelligently. There are 3 ways to grow this kind of income. Number 1, replicate. If one tool or item works, buy a few more of it and rent them simultaneously. Number 2, expand categories. If you're renting tools, add related gear. Safety equipment, trailers, generators. Number 3, diversify locations. If you have friends or family in other cities, you could manage their inventory remotely, taking a small cut from rentals you coordinate online. Within a year, you could easily build $2,000 to $3,000 per month in cash flow just by managing assets you already owned or gradually added. And here's the beauty. This kind of income is resilient. It's not tied to one platform, one job, or one economy. Even in tough times, people still need tools, space, vehicles, and equipment. You've essentially built your own microeconomy. At this point, you're no longer thinking like an employee, you're thinking like an investor. Every purchase you make from now on should come with one question: can this make me money? That question alone will change your financial life. And here's a secret most people never realize: the small stuff compounds. The $100 from tool rentals, the $200 from parking space income, the $300 from vehicle sharing, they add up. A few years later, that's the money you use to buy your first real investment, maybe a vending machine, a small storage unit business, or even a rental property. It all starts with activating what you already have. But let's pause for a second. Making money is great, but protecting your energy is equally important. If you want this to last, you can't let it consume your life. The best systems are the ones that run quietly in the background. Set time boundaries. Maybe you only manage rentals on weekends or evenings. Keep everything organized in a simple spreadsheet. Don't overcomplicate it. Remember, the goal is to make your possessions work harder than you do. And here's something powerful to think about. When you start seeing your things differently, you start seeing yourself differently. You stop identifying as a consumer and start acting like a producer. You begin to notice value where others see clutter. You begin to think like the people who build wealth, not through luck, but through resourcefulness. That's the mindset of someone who escapes the rat race. It's not about having more, it's about doing more with what you already have. If this video gave you ideas or helped you think differently about making money, take a second to like the video. It really helps this channel grow and reach more people trying to build financial freedom. Comment below and tell me what's one item you own that you could start earning from. And if you're serious about escaping the 9-to-5 and building a life of freedom, make sure you subscribe to Quit the Rat Race so you don't miss the next video. Here's the big picture. You don't need $1 million idea. You just need to stop letting your assets sleep. Every item in your house, every piece of gear, every square foot of space can be turned into a small income stream. And when you stack enough of those streams together, they become a river. That river of income is what gives you options. It's what gives you freedom. It's what allows you to wake up one day and realize you're no longer chasing money. It's flowing to you. That's what happens when you stop working harder and start thinking smarter. That's what happens when you turn what you already own into cash flow. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice.